Do you ever feel weighed down by stress, emotional baggage, or the need to control everything around you? What if the secret to happiness and success is learning to let go? In this video, we'll explore the profound wisdom of Miyamoto Musashi and how mastering the art of detachment can transform your life, giving you clarity, inner peace, and unstoppable strength. Lesson 1. Emotional freedom. One of the best things about separation is that it gives you emotional freedom. When we care too much about results, people, or situations, we let outside forces control our feelings. When you learn from Musashi, you learn to see things exactly as they are. This is the key to mental freedom. To gain control over our inner world, we need to realize that our feelings are only temporary and that we can separate ourselves from them. You become mentally weak when you're too attached to certain results, like success, praise, or approval. One failure, rejection, or sadness can make you feel bad all the time. But when you learn separation, you realize that outside events don't decide how valuable or happy you are. You are in charge of how you respond to them. Musashi often talked about how important it was to stay calm and steady, even when things were going crazy. He thought that a fighter should never let their feelings control them because they could make them lose their focus and make mistakes. Emotional freedom in real life means giving up the need for approval from other people. It means not letting someone's praise or criticism change how you feel about yourself. It's about letting go of the fear of failing and being okay with life, not being planned out. Emotional separation doesn't mean becoming cold or heartless, as Musashi teaches. Instead, it means taking charge of your feelings so they don't determine what you do. When you're emotionally free, you can deal with the problems in life in a calm and balanced way. Outside events will no longer have control over your life. Being emotionally independent to this point gives you power because you can make decisions based on understanding instead of feeling. Do not let your heart be controlled by outside events, says Musashi. Being emotionally free is the first thing you need to do to take control of your inner world. When you stop letting other people control how you feel, you can start living your true self, based on your own power and resolve. You get back your mental power by separating yourself from things. Lesson 2. Increases happiness and fulfillment. Giving up ties doesn't mean giving up happiness or satisfaction. In fact, it brings those things back. Being detached from things outside of yourself makes you happier because you aren't relying on them to make you happy. Musashi's worldview is based on the thought that real happiness doesn't come from things or being successful in society. He said, if you wish to control others, you must first control yourself. When we depend on someone, something, or an event to make us happy, we prepare to be let down. This can be a friendship, a job, or an accomplishment. There is nothing solid in life, and if we hold on too strongly, our happiness is weak and could break at any time. This was something that Musashi knew very well, and by practicing separation, he found peace inside himself that wasn't based on anything else. Being detached lets us enjoy life to the fullest without worrying all the time that we might lose what we have. Like you can start to enjoy the present moment when you let go of the need to always seek success or approval. You don't have to see your accomplishments as steps towards something bigger. You can just enjoy them for what they are. When you change your point of view, you stop chasing a changing goal and savor the present moment. This makes you feel more fulfilled. Detachment also helps you let go of standards that are too high. A lot of the time, we feel unhappy because our real lives don't match the perfect life we've imagined. You learn to accept life as it is, flaws and all, by learning detachment. Accepting things as they are brings a deep sense of peace and happiness. Accept everything as it is, says Musashi. When we stop trying to get what we want and start living, happiness and joy grow. To be truly happy, we don't need material things. Instead, we need to be involved with the world around us. Giving up ties can lead to a life that is more satisfying and happy for a longer time. Lesson 3. Better decision making. Making decisions that are simpler and work better is one of the most useful benefits of separation. You are more likely to make choices based on fear, desire, or ego than on logic and clarity when your feelings and ties get in the way. Musashi knew this very well. As a fencer, his life relied on being able to make quick, clear decisions when things got tough. He stressed how important it was to keep your mind clear and not let your emotions get in the way of acting wisely and successfully. Being detached from things lets you see them as they really are, not how you want them to be. You can look at things objectively when you let go of your emotional ties. Musashi's knowing the way broadly theory says that you should look at a situation from every point before making a choice. Being free of bias and connection lets you think more deeply about your choices and pick the one that fits your values and goals the best. Attachment, on the other hand, can make people make bad choices. For instance, if you care too much about a certain result, you might not notice warning signs or important details. Similarly, if you care too much about a situation, you might choose based on how you feel at the time instead of what's best for you in the long run. A wise man named Musashi once said, "Perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye." This means learning to see things deeper and making choices based on knowledge rather than emotion. This means that separation lets you let go of the fear of failing. A lot of people don't make tough choices because they're afraid they'll make the wrong one. But when you practice separation, you free yourself from the pressure to be perfect. Musashi thought that everyone fails sometimes, so people shouldn't be afraid of it. In its place, he taught that every event, good or bad, has lessons to teach. When you're emotionally separate, you can make choices without being stuck in fear of messing up, which lets you move forward with confidence and a sense of purpose. One of the many benefits of learning separation is that it can help you make better decisions. Forget about your feelings, get a clear picture of what's going on, and be brave enough to act without worrying about failing. There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever make you better, stronger, richer, faster, or smarter. Everything is within. Seek nothing outside of yourself. Being clear on this makes you make better decisions and live a happier life. Lesson 4 brings you closer to your true self. Being detached from the outside world not only makes it easier to understand it, but it also gets you closer to your true self. It's simple to forget who you are in a world full of things that make you feel bad and expectations from other people. People often make us tied to jobs, personalities, or demands that they put on us. But Musashi thought that the only way to truly master yourself and be happy was to understand yourself deeply. Knowing yourself is the key to knowing life. As he wrote, "From one thing, know 10,000 things." You can find your true self when you stop relying on other people's ideas of success, happiness, and worth. Finding out more about yourself is an important part of having a happy life. Too often, we let social rules and standards shape us into roles that don't really fit who we are. These connections can pull us farther away from who we really are, whether it's the pressure to reach certain goals, fit into certain social groups, or live up to other people's standards. Musashi's lessons tell people to think about themselves and rely on themselves. He thought that everyone had to find their own way, and that letting go of social rules was important for finding personal truth. You can start to understand what really means to you once you let go of your need for outside approval. You can figure out your mission, your hobbies, and your core beliefs. When you know this much about yourself, you can live in line with your true self instead of going after shallow goals that might not make you happy. Being detached also lets you accept your flaws and weaknesses. Even though Musashi thought that you could always improve yourself, he also said that you had to accept yourself as you are before you could grow. Letting go of the need to be perfect or meet standards that are too high frees you to work on your own growth and development without feeling guilty or shamed. Getting away from things is a great way to help you learn more about yourself. It gets rid of the fake identities and demands from other people that keep your real self hidden. Detachment helps you connect with your inner power, knowledge, and truth, all of which were very important to Musashi. That way, you'll feel more meaning and happiness, which come from living in line with who you really are. Lesson 5. Clearer vision. Musashi talked a lot about how important it was to have clear vision in life and in war, to make smart choices, reach your goals, and live a satisfying life. You need to be clear on your mind and your purpose. Attachments, whether they are to people, things, or even ideas, can blur our view and make it hard to see things as they really are. The mental fog that comes from bias, fear, and desire can be cleared away through detachment. This lets us see the world and ourselves more clearly. When you care about a certain result, it can change how you see things. For instance, if you are too tied to the idea of success, you might miss chances to grow because they don't fit your idea of what success looks like. In the same way, if you are connected to a relationship, you might not pay attention to warning signs or red flags because you don't want to face the truth. Musashi said that personal wants and bonds should not affect your judgment because they can cause you to make bad choices and miss out on chances. Being detached from something helps you see it more clearly. It lets you look at things without any bias or emotional connection, so you can approach them with an open mind. This is especially important when you have to deal with problems or make tough choices. In strategy, it is important to see faraway things as if they were close, and to take a distanced view of close things, said Musashi. This means learning to see both the big picture and the smaller details of a situation without letting your emotions or preconceived notions get in the way. Being able to see clearly also helps you keep your mind on your goals. When you let go of things that are distracting you and don't matter, you can focus on what really matters. Musashi thought that a fighter should be able to focus on one thing at a time, and that anything else would only make them less determined. Detachment helps you stay focused on your personal mission in everyday life, so you can go after your goals with more determination and clarity. This means that separation helps you see yourself and the world around you more clearly. It clears your mind of the thoughts and feelings that are getting in the way of making decisions. You can go through life with purpose and direction if you have a clear goal, just like Musashi did as he tried to control himself and understand himself. Lesson 6. Empowerment. Letting go gives you a lot of power. You regain your personal power when you separate yourself from outside factors, other people's views, and material things. Musashi knew this very well. His life showed that real power doesn't come from the outside world, but from inside. His view was that depending on something other than oneself was a sign of weakness, whether it was money, position, or relationships. Instead, Musashi taught that freedom and independence are what make you strong. Not holding on to things takes away your power when you let go of them. Any longer do you let things or people around you decide how you feel or what you do. Having this feeling of power gives you the power to run your own life. You stop being a victim of your conditions and take charge of your own life. Musashi thought that a fighter should be well equipped to handle any situation and remain strong, no matter what was going on around them. Detachment gives you power, but it also means you have to be responsible for your own happiness and health. We put too much of our happiness in the hands of other people, thinking that a relationship, a job, or a certain way of life will make us happy. Detachment, on the other hand, helps you see that real happiness comes from inside. Musashi taught that you are the only one who can make you happy, and that depending on other people to validate or satisfy you will only make you unhappy. Detachment also gives you the strength to deal with problems and failures in a strong way. When you don't care about how things turn out, you can face problems with calm and understanding. You know that failing is not a sign of how good you are, but rather a chance to get better. Musashi thought that everything that happened, good or bad, taught him something important. If you let go of your fear of failing, you can face problems head-on, understanding that each loss is a chance to grow stronger and smarter. Being detached gives you the power to live your life the way you want to. You are no longer ruled by worry, want, or outside events. Musashi said, "In life, you must learn how to hold nothing dear and nothing outside of yourself." This idea of being strong inside and relying on yourself is the key to real freedom. Lesson 7. Inner peace. The peace of mind that comes from separation may be its most important benefit. Musashi knew that true peace doesn't come from the outside world, but from inside. He spent a lot of his life alone. He thought that by separating from the wants and worries of the outside world, one could reach a state of peace and calm that would not change, even when bad things happened. To find inner peace, you don't have to avoid problems or strife. You just have to find calm in the middle of them. You are no longer controlled by outside forces when you are not attached to results, other people's opinions, or material things. You can handle the ups and downs of life with grace and strength when you feel calm inside. Musashi taught that a fighter should be calm and unfazed, even when things are very heated. This figure of speech shows that real peace doesn't depend on what's going on in the outside world. Being detached also helps you forget about the past and stop being afraid of the future. Sadness, guilt, or fear of what's to come weigh down a lot of us. These ties to the past and the future keep us from being at peace with the present. Musashi thought that there was only the present moment, and that we could find peace and happiness by living fully in the current moment. It says, "Do not regret what you have done." When you practice separation, you can let go of the worries and responsibilities of the past and the future. It teaches you to fully enjoy the present moment and let go of what was or what might be. Being able to accept life as it is brings a deep sense of peace and happiness. No longer do you need to be in charge of everything, and you can be happy just being. The end goal of separation is inner peace. Knowing that you are enough as you are, and that nothing else can take away your peace gives you peace of mind. Musashi taught us that letting go of ties can help us reach a state of inner peace that can't be shaken, even when life throws us its biggest problems. The lessons that Miyamoto Musashi taught about distance are just as useful today as they were many years ago. We can free ourselves from the emotional and mental weights that hold us back by adopting detachment. This lets us live more fully, make better choices, and be happier and more fulfilled. Detachment doesn't mean giving up or pulling away from life. It means living with clarity, focus, and peace of mind. Letting go of things that don't serve us anymore helps us accept what does. Detachment can help us feel free emotionally, be happier, make smarter choices, connect with our true selves, see the world more clearly, give ourselves more power, and find real peace within ourselves. Musashi's wise words tell us that being able to let go is not a weakness, but a deep strength. Being able to separate ourselves from things can make our lives better in ways we never thought possible.